the deadliest year in human history. Imagine a year so deadly that millions died, entire cities collapsed, and civilization itself seemed close to breaking. No world war, no nuclear weapons, no modern technology, just disease, hunger, fear, and death on a scale humanity had never seen before. Historians often debate which year was the worst in human history: 1918 with the Spanish flu, 1942 during World War II. But many scholars now agree that the deadliest year in human history was not in modern times at all. It was the year 1348, a year when death walked the streets, bells rang non-stop for the dead, and people believed the world was ending. This is the story of the Black Death and the year that nearly wiped out humanity. In the early 1300s, the world was already fragile. Europe was overcrowded, cities were filthy, clean water was rare. Most people lived shoulder to shoulder with animals. Then came famine. Between 1315 and 1317, much of Europe suffered the Great Famine. Crops failed, millions starved, bodies weakened. Across Asia and the Middle East, trade was booming along the Silk Road. But that same trade would soon carry something far more dangerous than silk or spices. A silent killer was forming. It likely began in Central Asia, living inside fleas that fed on rats. No one knew it yet, but humanity was about to face its greatest enemy. In 1347, ships arrived in the Mediterranean from the east. Sailors were already dead or dying. Those still alive had blackened fingers, swollen necks, and fevers so intense they screamed in agony. Within days, entire ports were infected. The disease spread faster than anyone could understand. By 1348, the plague exploded across Europe. Cities fell in weeks. Villages vanished entirely. People didn't know about bacteria or germs. They thought it was God's punishment, poisoned air witchcraft, or the end of the world itself. Nothing stopped it. The numbers are staggering. In just 1 year, historians estimate 25 to 50 million people died in Europe alone. That's 30 to 60% of the population. Some regions lost up to 70% of their people globally. Estimates reach 75 to 100 million deaths. To put that into perspective, World War II killed about 70 million over 6 years. The Black Death killed more than that in a fraction of the time. With no bombs, no guns, no armies. Death came in days. Once infected, fever hit first, then painful, egg-sized swellings called buboes. Internal bleeding turned skin black. Most victims died within 3 to 5 days. Doctors fled. Priests refused last rites. Families abandoned their own children. Society began to unravel. Gravediggers couldn't keep up. Bodies piled in the streets. Mass graves swallowed entire neighborhoods. In some cities, carts rolled through streets at night while voices cried, "Bring out your dead." Laws stopped mattering. Work stopped. Trade collapsed. Entire professions vanished. Some people turned to extreme religion, whipping themselves in public to beg forgiveness from God. Others gave up entirely, drinking, stealing, and living as if tomorrow would never come. Many believed Judgment Day had arrived, and in some places, they weren't wrong. The mental impact was just as devastating as the physical one. Survivors were haunted. Imagine waking up every day knowing your family might be dead by nightfall, your city might not exist next month. No one could help you, trust collapsed. Neighbors avoided each other, strangers were attacked, minorities were blamed, leading to mass violence and pogroms, especially against Jewish communities. Fear ruled everything. History records parents abandoning children, and children abandoning parents. It was survival or death. When the plague finally slowed, the world was unrecognizable, but something unexpected happened. With so many dead, workers became valuable, wages rose, feudalism began to collapse, power slowly shifted away from kings and lords. Some historians argue the Black Death helped spark the Renaissance, modern medicine, the decline of medieval tyranny. Out of unimaginable death came transformation. 1348 wasn't just the deadliest year in human history. It was a year that reshaped civilization, a reminder that humanity's greatest enemy has never been war alone, but disease, fear, and our own lack of understanding. And yet, humanity survived, against all odds. If you lived in 1348, survival itself was a miracle, and every breath you take today is proof that we made it through.